Hello, yes, it's Joe here for Joyrider TV, live again from the Wild Wind Boat Park. It's very quiet down here at the moment, not any wind at all. No champagne sailing on today, just bit murky to be honest, but not too bad, still very nice. Good times here in Greece generally, and it looks like the weather should be picking up. Hello to everyone who's just joining us now. Back from the Wild Wind Boat Park to see if you've got any questions at this time. We're still a little bit early. I thought I'd get I'll get the ball rolling a little bit early this week because I did, and that's what I thought we'd do. There we go. While we're waiting, we could just take a little look around, see what's going on. Hi Caris, nice to have you on board. So what once was a lively, rather busy boat park is now just an empty space. Oh, hi Ollie, how you doing, man? Hi James, hi Benjamin, hi 5150. Crazy cat sailor. Oh yeah, it's all looking pretty bare. 2 cats here today. There's one, and of course Hobie 16 number 6 is the featured artist for the winter period here at Wild Wind Beach. If you didn't yet see the rope management video from, I think it was Monday, then I think you'll agree that was a rather fine bit of filmmaking. Hello Dave, nice to have you with us. Yeah, one boat still rigged. Hi Sean, SBEBC. Hi, with glasses, wasn't sure if that was you initially. Yeah, it's just because it's getting a bit dark now. I just wear glasses when it's dark. If I have to travel by road, it aids me being able to see things when travelling by road. Sorry, who else is just checking in there? Hello, Hein. Yeah, we will be opening again in May, at the start of May. Keep an eye on the website, on the Wild Wind website for that. We'll be opening at the start of May, and looking forward to some more good times. Hello, Pano. Nice to have you on board as always. And who else we've got? Stephen just joined Felixstowe Ferry Sailing Club. What a good idea. Felixstowe Ferry Sailing Club happens to be the sailing club which I did all of my sailing at as a young sailor from the age of about 11 through till about 20. And it was when I was about 20 I started coming out to Greece. So that was it for my time as an active member at Felixstowe Ferry Sailing Club. But it's a really good club on the east coast of England, lots of tide, and there always used to be a healthy Dart 18 fleet, but I think now there's more of a mixed catamaran fleet there. I haven't been back for some time now. Hi Mario, nice to have you on board. Hello Ralph, and I think we're straight in with a question for you. You are about to capsize, wind is gusting. In what order or priority do you take measures? Sheet, traveller, what's the best way to control the capsize? This is a great question to kick off with. So you've got a number of options available to you if you think you're going to capsize. You've got the main sheet, you've got the traveller, you've got the steering, you've got the jib, and let's leave it at that. Let's keep it relatively simple. The thing that is always going to have the greatest effect and the thing that is always going to save you is the main sheet. The main sheet is number one. If you're about to capsize, like if the boat is arcing up, right up, if you let the traveller out, you'll have to be very quick with the traveller to turn that heeling into more boat speed. Whereas with the main sheet, you'll always have, it will have a very direct, immediate positive effect on the boat, and you'll feel it straight away. So playing the main sheet is always the thing that's going to save you. As Dave just pointed out, shift your weight as well. So getting more outboard if you're not yet out on the trapeze and you've got time to get out on the trapeze to prevent the capsize, or perhaps, the other thing you could do if you're sailing upwind is head up into the wind more. That will also help to prevent the capsize. But the only thing that's almost guaranteed to prevent the capsize, especially on a reaching or upwind leg, is the main sheet. On a downwind course, the thing that's going to help to avoid you capsizing is by sailing the boat as fast as possible. If you're trying to sail slowly on the downwind, what you get is this vicious circle of fear where perhaps you're a little bit intimidated by a strong wind, so you try to sail the boat slowly. But by trying to sail the boat slowly, the boat becomes more erratic and it feels more lively because there's more pressure between the rig and the wind. If you sail faster, there's less actual pressure in the rig trying to blow you over. So by trying to sail slowly, it actually makes it worse. So trying to sail quickly on the downwind is the way, but definitely getting the crew weight in the right position, essential there as well. Traveller will do more so for point of sail and general wind conditions. If you are an established team, then playing the Traveller more is going to be good, but generally the main sheet. There we go. That was a very long-winded response. Okay. Thanks for the question. Kurosh, nice to have you on board. You should come to Dubai for some sailing, perfect weather for sailing now. Well, that would just be a treat to be able to go somewhere with some good sailing weather. But to be honest, I think it's going to be pretty cooking here tomorrow and Friday at least, and then just really good high quality sunshine over the weekend, and we'll take it. High quality sunshine is definitely some of the good stuff. Jose in Macau, nice to have you on board, man. Sorry that I haven't got to everyone yet who said hello. I'm just going down the list. Oh, Yasuthano, nice to have you on board. That's Thanos, who is Thanos from OS3 Sales, who, we were talking earlier on about aftermarket sales and trampolines. And here we go. We can actually show you a demonstration of what an aftermarket trampoline looks like. This is the OS3 trampoline, which Thanos makes. It is very good, very high quality. This material is extremely durable. Thanos is just putting together a price list. So that then we'll have some prices for trampolines and sails. Different colour trim is available, of course, if you'd prefer different colour trim. But really pleased with the trampolines that Thanos has been making for us of late. I've always been a little bit, to be honest, I've been a little bit dubious of non-original sails and trampolines until Thanos started whipping up this latest batch, when it's totally changed my mind on the whole aftermarket parts for your boats thing. The Hobie stuff just immediately fits and it looks good, it lasts well, it's durable, but it's so expensive. So if you can get something decent, I will, the results of the aftermarket sails and trampolines, I call it a chat. It was kind of a chat. Factory name OS3 Sales. Yeah, but if you let me know afterwards, I'll pass you on. If you're interested in getting some OS3 stuff, then I will pass on Thanos's email address and you can get in touch with him directly, and then he can give you some prices and options for what it is that you're looking at. But hopefully tomorrow I should have time to take the results from this aftermarket tramps and sales chat that we had and put them on the website and on the Patreon page, so that then you can see the different sources that we found. And then if you are looking for something, then you'll be able to see how to get in touch with those places there. All right, just scrolling back. See, we're at the start. This is where the answers are really long. That was just a response to hello. All right, scrolling back. Hi, Ewan, nice to have you on board. Hello, Robin. They're in Florida. Hope the weather's nice for you there. Who else have we got? Arthur. Okay, I agree. Dave with the wake shift. Ewan, had a go on a Hobie 16 today, nice and windy. Tips for solo sailing. Oh man, so many tips. But I think the number one is don't fall off the boat. Do what you can to not fall off. These tow straps, very handy. Always, if it's anything other than like get your fishing rod out conditions, then have a foot under the tow strap, unless you're out on the trapeze, of course, because you do not want to be falling off the boat if you're sailing solo. For obvious reasons, the boat could sail away from you. If you do fall off the boat, then make sure, as we know, we should always be holding on to the main sheet when we're sailing. So if you do fall off the boat, just don't let go of the main sheet, because either the main sheet will capsize the boat, making it easier to get back to the boat, or at least it will mean you're still attached to the boat. What you don't want is to be in the water, boat sailing off, because the boat will sail off, especially if the main sheet's not cleated. It will sail off for some time before it stops, and whether you can get back to it or not, that is the main issue. I would say that is the most important thing of single-handed sailing. Don't fall off the boat, or don't lose contact with the boat. All right, scrolling back. Dave, beans equals good. Oh yeah. Jack and Linda, hi, nice to have you on board. I believe that probably, would it be a bit presumptuous to think that was just Jack? Nacra sailing, hi. What wind is a catamaran most likely to capsize at? I'd say most likely to capsize in 35 knots plus. As we get less wind, you're less likely to capsize. I would say, when is a catamaran unlikely to capsize? Possibly under 10 knots of wind. That's when it's less likely to capsize. You really have to be getting it quite monumentally wrong to capsize a catamaran in under 10 knots. Then between 10 and 15 knots, perhaps you're more likely to capsize, because you're more likely to be out in that amount of wind than in the really strong stuff. If you go out in a really strong wind, you know what you're in for. Whereas if you're going out in 15 knots of wind, you might find it quite spicy. And that might mean that you're more likely to capsize because you're actually out there in that wind. I think that's a reasonable answer, I think. All right, scrolling back. All right, Europe Sailing. Hi, Joe. Hi, Europe Sailing. Nice to have you on board. I've put my phone the other way up today, so I'm a little bit confused. And I think I can't flip it upside down. Yeah. This is the YouTube live streaming telephone facility. Is once you've started recording, you can't change the orientation of your telephone. Just in case you wanted to know that, I think this is solid gold. Kuro 5150 on my Inter 18. The eye on the mainsail for the downhaul is a bit higher. The previous owner rigged a double downhaul, one on the eye and one grabbing the piece of cloth between the sail and the mast. Right, I think I get you. Yes, seems viable. If it seems to work, then yes. If it works, I think with especially the F18 style of boats, like your Inter 18, what's really nice to do is where you've got a kringle in the sail, the eye, for the tack, is have a block on either side there. The best would be if you could get a block with a small hole in the middle, a pulley, put a bolt through so that you've got a block on either side of the sail. So then your rope for the downhaul can go through that block, and then you don't have the resistance of the downhaul rope running through the actual tack eye, that it's running through a block, and then it'll be super easy getting your downhaul on. Just an idea. It's what we do with the Tornadoes. Yeah, it's really nice. Makes for a very smooth running system. All right, scrolling back. Scrolling back. Okay, Dave. All right, Dave says, when I come to Vasiliki next year, will Thanos make me a trampoline to take home? I think just try and stop him. Yes, I'm sure that he will. Be a very good shout to get in touch. And yeah, I can definitely vouch for these trampolines. Very, very good. Of course, one season here in Greece is probably equivalent to about 5 years in the real world. The amount of UV that that the boats get, and the amount of harsh salt water, the pounding, the boats are getting used all day, every day, which is, that is a lot more than most boats get. I think even if you're very keen on sailing, the likelihood that you'd be getting out for more than, let's say, 10 hours a week, that's pretty slim. But here, the boats are being used probably about 6 hours a day, let's say, which means it's a really great testing ground for equipment. So yes and yes. All right, scrolling back. All right. Jose says rudders. I agree. Yeah, all right, nylon rudders / maintenance. Yeah, with the different construction of the rudder blades, it really depends on what you're wanting to get out of your boat. If you're wanting to sail the boat, let's say the construction or the type of your rudder blade kind of relates to what sort of speed you're wanting to get out of the boat, let's say in very broad terms. So with the nylon rudder blades, I would say they'll be good up to about 18 knots of boat speed. And then after that, you'll probably be loading them too much. The problem with the nylon blades, the problem why they're not as good for the really high speed as the epoxy or carbon rudder blades, is that the nylon ones bend. As you load it up with pressure, the blade bends, which means that the boat will start to feel a bit like it's got lee helm. So you're having to push the rudders away a lot of the time to keep going in a straight line. And you might think, oh, it's the way I've got them set up. No, it's just that the blade is bending. So that is the downside of the nylon blades. They are extremely strong, and they'll probably last for longer than the rest of the boat. But if you're wanting to sail very fast, perhaps go faster than 18 knots, let's say, then you'd probably want to be looking at upgrading to maybe the White Knight rudder blades, which are the fiberglass. I think they're polyester rudder blades, but they've got a carbon reinforcement inside, and they are very stiff rudder blades, and they will take you up to about 22 knots reliably. But what I found is for the over 22 knots club, the EPO 3s are really killing it. Absolutely bomb-proof, but with a price tag to match. Whatever type of rudder blades you're running on your boat, it is very important to keep your rudders nicely tuned So if you haven't checked it out for a bit, do check out the rudder maintenance video. That is still, it's still the same information now, but it was back then. I think I made that about 4 years ago. And the way that I set up the rudders is exactly the same now as it was back then. So that video is still valid and worth a look. If you haven't tuned your rudders up lately, good to see. All right, scrolling back. Oh, further question from Jose. Sand it. If your rudder blades are making that kind of low-pitched hum, I think on the nylon ones, you have, on the trailing edge, there's a very thin bead. Can we call it a bead? Like a line that runs around the back of the rudder blade where it's like the two halves have come together. Although I think they are made in one part, but they've got like a ridge that runs around the back of the rudder blade. And if your rudders are making a lot of noise, you could just try lightly sanding down that trailing edge and see if that makes a difference. Obviously, don't go too mad. You don't want to have a flat edge of more than about 1 millimeter on the back edge of your rudder blade. So, but worth gently sanding that down to see if it helps. All right, scrolling back. Scrolling back. Thanks for the questions there, Jose. Very nice. Kurosh, Joe for solo. Tapering. I'm thinking auto spell is getting the best of you there. I dare say that's trapezing on an ACAT. What's the best way to control the boat in wavy and windy situation when you're trying to control rudder, body balance, riding a bull? All right. Yeah, I'd say the first thing I haven't got any experience sailing an ACAT. I'd love to, but I've never tried one. But on any type of boat, especially if it's wavy conditions, just get yourself stable on the trapeze. So although it doesn't look too cool, but it can really help, is have a wider stance on the trapeze. Have your feet wider apart, with your knees kind of lightly bent. And if you feel like you're getting pulled forward slightly, then you can straighten your back leg and bend your front leg slightly. That will help to brace. Oh, beg your pardon, other way around. Straighten your front leg. Whichever way you feel like you're getting pulled, straighten the leg towards the direction of pull and bend the opposite leg. And that means you'll brace against that direction of pull. But feet wide apart. If you've got some toe straps on your boat, that's going to help as well. What else? You can also shorten your trapeze wire. If you're a little bit higher up, that will make you feel like you've got a bit more weight on your feet, which means that you're less likely to get swung out away from the boat. So those would be my tips there. And then just try to sail with the windward hull slightly lifted. So get to what you could do is go into this kind of half trapezing position where you've got your feet under the toe strap hooked onto the trapeze, just with your bum hanging over the edge. Steer in that position a bit, get a comfortable amount of power where the windward hull is just slightly lifting. And then from that position, then go out onto the trapeze. But starting off by sailing very close to the wind, very high upwind, because that's when the boat is going to be going slowest, meaning that the boat is going to feel most under control there. I hope that helps. It's not easy, but get into that half trapezing position using the toe straps, get comfortable there. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, trapezing I meant. Hutchie, good afternoon. Good to have you on board as ever. Hermelin Aliu. Nice to have you on board. Dave says, don't sail solo without other boats around the lake or bay. Wise words there, Dave. Yeah. More on the solo sailing, most important things is make sure if you are going out and there's no one else about, then phone someone first. And I can't remember who it was, but just today someone pointed out that in the safety considerations video of the things to take with you on your boat for safety, like a knife and a whistle, get your phone in a dry bag in a waterproof case. I've started taking mine in a waterproof case and a dry bag, just out of sheer paranoia for damaged telephone. But then if you do get stuck, like one of the worst things that could happen, now that we've established that you can bring your boat up single-handed using a bag, the worst thing that can happen, other than the capsize, not be able to bring the boat back upright, is gear failure, where the mast might come down, maybe one of your rudders gets lost, something that means you can no longer sail the boat. If you've got a telephone with you, then you've got an option. But also let somebody know before you go out as well, just that you are going out. It all sounds so obvious, but sometimes you just get so excited with the fact that you're going to go out and send it that you forget some obvious things. So let somebody know where you're going and what time you're expected back in. Very obvious. Take a phone with you so that if anything happens, you can phone someone. Work out before you go as well, perhaps the evening before you're planning to go out, think, all right, if something did happen, who would I phone? Phoning the wife or the husband, depending on if you've got a wife or a husband, or your mum or dad, you know, that might not be the best option immediately, because that might put them into some sort of panic. Whereas if you've already found out what the name is of somebody that you know has got a jet ski, or the number for the Coast Guard or something similar to that, then that means that you can at least know what's going on before you phone your other half or somebody and say, all right, yeah, so I'm going to be a bit later, mast's fallen down, but Jeff is coming on his jet ski, he's got a long bit of rope, he's going to tow me back in, but I won't be home for tea. That kind of thing. This is good advice. I think very good. Take telephone. News just in. All right, scrolling back. Hamelin said almost to keep your boat floating. That is very important. Yes, but you know, joking aside, if you're going out sailing solo, double check everything before you put your boat in the water, especially the bungs. Double check the bungs, check your rudder system to make sure when you jump on the boat, you're not going to have a problem putting your rudders down, because you don't want a problem putting your rudders down, especially if you're on your own and there's nobody else to hold the boat while you get things sorted out. Keep above water and you're good, yeah. All right, SPEBC, 35 knots. That is crazy strong. But if we're talking about capsizing, what's the correlation between average and wind gusts here? A big gust. Yeah, so with the capsizing, the thing that is most problematic is not necessarily strong wind. If you've got a really strong but constant wind, then it's not going to be too bad. Whereas if you've got wind going from 5 knots to 20 knots, then you're much more likely to capsize. So if the wind is extremely gusty, those are your prime capsizing conditions. Or if they're very gusty and shifty as well, where the wind's changing direction, that is when you're going to capsize. So again, if you're going out sailing solo, this is kind of the theme, is which direction is the wind blowing in relation to the beach from where you're launching. If the wind's blowing offshore, so away from the land, then you really should consider whether you should be going out at all. Because if you capsize, if you have a man overboard, or if your mast comes down and the wind is offshore, you're not going to get blown back to the beach. And also, offshore wind is going to be more gusty, because generally for the wind to be offshore, it's going to be blowing through a load of trees, maybe hills, buildings, buses, cows, sheep, and so on. All right, scrolling back. I feel this is going very well today, by the way. I hope you agree. We're all having a lovely time. I think it is going to get pretty dark here soon, actually. Looking where you're looking, it looks pretty light, but looking the other way, it looks pretty light. The telephone is doing a good job in making it look lighter. James says 50 miles an hour gusts tomorrow. Oh my goodness. You watch yourselves. Karis, thoughts on how to get a cooler of drinks on a Hobie 16? This has been a hot topic for some time. There's been some good options in previous episodes of Show Us Your Cat. I'll leave that with you guys because my experience in that department isn't quite as much as others. Oh, safely. Safely, very important. All right, I'm just gonna... All right, so cracking on. Cormac, nice to have you on board. See the new good old design F18. Yeah, I believe it's called an Acura, which is, what's his name? I think it's James, who is involved with the F18 Association, at least on the Facebook page he is. It was his idea of the new name for the good old F18. So congratulations to James for coming up with the winning name for that F18, which apparently is named after another type of snake, a big fast water snake kind of thing. And I have absolutely no idea at all what the difference is between the C2 and the new one. I would guess, at a rough guess, I would say maybe longer dagger boards, longer rudders, but that's just a guess, so I don't really have any idea. Cormac says 3 new Spitfires in the fleet at Galway Bay Sailing Club Island. Nice. The Spitfire is a great boat, was a youth class in the UK, and it's got the same kind of footprint as an F16, but it's an older design, so it doesn't fit the F16 rules. But what a great boat, nice to have some more at the club. They race quite nicely against F18s. So there we are. Scrolling back. All right, we got CBob64. Hello. Did you already try a Jenica on a Hobie 16? What is the feeling? What is your feeling on the Spinnaker on the Hobie 16? I would say, yes, I did try the Spinnaker on the Hobie 16 when I was in Mauritius back in February. Just so happens. Yeah, and my opinion on the Spinnaker on the Hobie 16 is in light wind or for long distance sailing, yes, it definitely helps. Or actually for light wind, long distance sailing, definitely that is where the Spinnaker on the 16 is absolutely killing it. But as soon as it's double trapezing conditions, it's okay. I beg your pardon. In in the UK, a Jenica is another way of describing an asymmetric Spinnaker. So I mean Jenica when I say Spinnaker because nobody, apart from shearwater sailors, are using Spinnakers anymore. So apologies there for the wrong dialect. But yes, using a Jenica on a 16, very good for the light winds, long distance sailing. But for me personally, if it's double trapezing conditions, I prefer the 16 without the Spinnaker. It's more pure, it's less complicated, less stuff to go wrong. And it's a great ride without the spinnaker when it's double trapezing conditions anyway. So that is my opinion. But in the light wind, very nice indeed. Okay, scrolling back. If it gets totally dark, I'll keep going. I'll keep going because I'll still be able to see the... Cormac. Last week we heard that Cormac's C2 was sadly damaged after hitting a rock and splitting the hull. But she's all ready now for sailing. I think we can all be very happy for you there, dude. And I hope you have a great sail. Hi, Christian. Nice to have you on board, as always. Haha. James, do you think the rudder bend would create lift in the stern? I think, yeah, possibly. It might lift the... In fact, it's quite likely, actually, because when I have been sailing fast with the plastic rudder blades, you do feel the boat wants to dive more. The bows want to go in a bit more. And that diving of the bows could well be because the back of the boat is getting lifted up a bit. Lifting up the back is going to put the front down, driving the bows down more. So, yes. All right, scrolling back. Stephen, boat hum is good. You wouldn't want you wouldn't want an Aston Martin without the exhaust sound. Yes, I heartily agree. But with the nylon or plastic rudder blades, the hum can be quite a low-pitched hum that sounds like you're going to attract whales, like that kind of really low-pitched hum. And you don't want whales chasing you, but also that low-pitched hum of the nylon blades really does feel like it's slowing you down. A little bit of hum off a white knight rudder blade, for example, you know, that's nice. When we first got the Tiger back in '96, it was the first, because of the dagger boards, it was the first boat that we sailed that really had a significant amount of noise coming from it, and it was fantastic, especially at the first World Championships where we had 100 boats all making this noise. Fantastic. But nylon, let's not have that low-pitched noise. No whales, please. Scrolling back. Jose, there are some crazy dudes that surf with catamarans. Have you ever done it? Not like those crazy dudes, because I've never actually been in a situation to sail the catamaran in those kind of waves. Back to Felixstowe on the east coast of England, where I learnt sailing. There's some good waves there sometimes. I did a lot of sailing in that kind of North Sea swell, but never in surf, like in the film Sharing the Wind. If you haven't seen Sharing the Wind, I would definitely suggest put a YouTube search, Sharing the Wind, Hobie 18, and you'll be very entertained for 25 minutes. It's from the 70s. And there you can see some proper surfing on Hobie 18s. Fantastic. All right, scrolling back. Oh, hello, Paul. Nice to have you on board, Bowwave Paul. All right, hello, Stefan. Boat hums, you are quick. Upper pitch, you are fast. Hum stops, you are... Oh, here we go. You are so absurdly fast, the rudders cannot vibrate fast enough anymore. Now, that is Stefan's theory on the inbuilt speedometer on a catamaran. Very nice. Apologies, it is getting darker. I haven't got a light or anything, so we're just going to be into darkness soon. Eric, hi, nice to have you on board. What are the best single-handed dinghy companies? Ooh. Now that is quite a broad question. If you're talking dinghy like monohull, then arguably the two front runners for non-trapezing single-handers would be the Laser and then the RS Aero. The RS Aero significantly more expensive, but much, much lighter. There's a lot more lasers in existence, probably about 100 times more lasers in existence. So picking up a second-hand one, you'll be able to find one at a price point that really matches your budget. Whereas the RS Aero, people who've got them love them so much, but the likelihood of any second-hand ones being available is pretty slim. Then for trapezing single-handers, if you're going classic, then the Contender is, I am told, reliably informed, but the Contender is a great choice for a classic trapeze monohull. Or for a modern one, then a Musto skiff with a rack, trapeze and spinnaker, very exciting. Or trapezing monohull on a budget but quite modern, then the RS 600, because they're a little bit dated now, but still an absolute weapon of a boat and very, very quick. There we go. That is my opinion on single-handed monohulls from as far as I know. Then of course you've got the foiling boats, but let's not go down that road. It's a long road and we might not be coming back. Bow wave pull, what microphone did you go for? Very good improvement in the boat. I'm glad that that was noted from the rope management video. So happy to have finally found a solution on that wind noise. How's everyone getting on with this wonky horizon, by the way? It's, yeah, just got a tripod on the trampoline kind of thing that cannot be adjusted. Yeah, the one I went for was one called Instamic, spelled Insta Mic, M-I-C. And I think, did it come from America? I can't remember where it came from, but it's like the size of a box of matches, very small. And with that one, you can either record onto your device directly using Bluetooth, so it can be used as a Bluetooth microphone, but it also has some sort of tiny little hard drive inside, so it records onto itself as well, and then you just plug the microphone into your computer or phone afterwards with USB, and so it's recording the audio on its own. So then afterwards what I did was I just synchronized the 3 pieces of video footage and the audio from the microphone, and I basically had it under my shirt, the shirt taking away the wind noise adequately, so much so that at times it felt a little bit tame, not enough wind noise. So that was that one. Yeah, very pleased with that. It was, if you want to know how much it cost, I think it was about £160, I believe. Okay, Nitro Hero Racing Team, a handheld marine VHF is a must. I would say yes, it's a very good idea to have a VHF if you are going out single-handed sailing, but I think for most people, I would say the telephone will do. It really depends on where you're going sailing, who it is that you'll be able to radio. If you're sailing on a lake, perhaps there's not going to be anybody else with a VHF within hailing distance, but if you're going out on the sea, then definitely agreed, a VHF will help you out a lot. But perhaps not everybody wants to fork out for a radio. I think for a reliable waterproof VHF radio, you would be looking at probably about $120 in the States, maybe a bit more. Okay, Scrolling back. Okay, we're up to 45 minutes. No more questions, please. So if you've got any more questions, they'll have to wait because I've got to get away and it is getting dark, as I'm sure you will have noticed. Monica, happy to catch your live stream. Hello, cool people. Nice to have you on board. Sorry, it's a bit dark. This is a problem with the time of day. Sean Cormac, is there any... There's a bit of inter-Irish chat going on. Nice. I don't think we need to go there. Typish Timon. Hey, Joe, how are you? Very good, thank you. How big was the biggest cat you've ever sailed? Okay, I'm just thinking about this, but I think you're going to be slightly disappointed. The biggest catamaran I've ever sailed. In fact, no word of a lie, I did sail on one of these big cruising catamarans, which was 50 feet long. There was a chap out here who bought 2 of them, which were also from La Rochelle in France, which is where, what was his name? Kai's boat was from in Show Us Your Cat last Sunday. Check that out if you haven't seen it. There's one of these big cruising cats on there. Yeah, I sailed on one of those. That was by far the biggest, but the biggest beach catamaran I've sailed is the Tornado, of course. 6 meters long, 3 meters wide. That's a hell of a boat. Okay, scrolling back, we're into the quick fire answers here. Hi, Max. Hi from Rossenheim Mountains, higher than 900 meters. Funny white stuff on top. I've heard of this stuff. Yeah. Okay, just while I've got you there, if you could hit the like button, that would be very good. Because it means by hitting the like button, what that means is that this video will be pushed up the rankings a bit, so more people will get to see this later on. I think we've covered some very interesting and important topics this evening, so thank you very much, by the way. That's quick. Yeah, that's almost 100%. Okay, Jacob, have you ever tried such a skiff as a 49er or a Musto skiff? Yes, we've got a 49er here on the Wildwind. Not right now, we've put everything away. And the 49er is an absolute rude boy. It's like a lot of these type of monohulls. If you're not used to it, it's an absolute, what would it be? It's an absolute difficult boat to sail. But what the 49er does for you is if you go sailing in 10 knots of wind, it'll make it feel like you're sailing in 20 knots on anything else. It's extremely powerful, but it's got such a great crisp feel, that power, and it's all standing up sailing, no sitting down at all, and a lot of teamwork involved. But yes to the 49er, no to the Musto skiff, never tried one. All right, scrolling back. Eric says, do you own a sailboat? Yes, there's one boat which is mine, and that's a Tornado. One that I use to go to competitions. All the rest of the boats that we have here at Wildwind are owned by the company, and that seems to be plenty. We've got, this year we had fewer boats on the beach, but we have got in our possession 75 boats, which I think is enough. All right, scrolling back. Attracting the whales. All right, where is a good site to buy monofilm? I believe you. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know the answer to that one, Kurosh. So for sailcloth, there are some big suppliers, but your best bet would be to find whoever your nearest sail maker is or sail repair person and see if they will sell you the desired amount of sailcloth that you need. That would be a very good scheme. Okay, just gonna try to wrap this up a bit shortly. Yeah, Stephen says Feeds Ravens is suggesting Mach 1 speed, I believe so. Hello Tom, nice to have you on board. Hello Graham. I sail an Enterprise, nice choice. An Enterprise is, I think it's 14 feet long, monohull with blue sails. Very good for racing. E1K, hi from Brittany, hello, bonjour. Dave says whales need loving too. Right, Stephen says, the Coast Guard suggested to me a PLB unit. I hope you explain what that is. For a VHF radio, this is in the UK, some places you get away without a license. For a VHF radio, you need to have a license. For a PLB, you just register with the Coast Guard and you're good to go. Stephen, if you could let us know what PLB stands for, that would be good. Answers on a postcard. Giacomo, Carly, do you use contact lenses when you go sailing? No, I don't wear glasses when I go on the water. I only wear glasses in low light conditions. That seems to be the time when I really need them. But when I'm on the water, if you saw the rope management video I did spot towards the end of it, I hardly had any eyes at all. I looked like a mole, which entertained me. Matthew, I made a SL16 sailing video of us. Can I send it over for Show Us Your Cat? Yes, you can. Please do. Yeah, we need to see the SL16. We've got, I think, outside of France, I don't think they're seen very much, these SL16s. So it would be really, really good to see you in action. If you check out in the description of any of the Show Us Your Cat videos, there'll be all the information there for where to send it. That'd be great. Giving it the beans. Graham says, I sail single-handed boats, but I want to sail a catamaran. Good choice. I'm not saying it's the way forward, but it is a way. Aha, Stephen says, PLB, personal location beacon. Okay. E1K in France too, you need a license for a VHF. PLC is a small unit about the size of a deck of cards. I think he means PLB. About £400 on Amazon. Sounds like a good idea. Okay, so I think on that note, I'm going to wrap this up because it is getting dark. I'm not saying I'm scared, but Halloween is coming up, and who knows what is lurking in the bushes. Wouldn't like to say. But thanks again for tuning in and coming up with the really good questions this week. Hopefully I'll have another video maybe on Friday, and then of course Show Us Your Cat on Sunday as usual, and then another video at the start of next week. Thanks to everybody who's continuing to support the channel. Peace, Monica, nice to have you on board. Yeah, even though the production of videos has slowed down because of the lack of the good stuff, Max has got to go waxing his skis. Nice. That, for some reason, tickles me. Go wax your skis, Max. Yeah, so thanks to everybody who's still supporting the channel. If you've just bought some stuff from totaljoyrider.com, then very well done. News just in, I have got, if you're looking for something unique, there's something new in the Joyrider custom shop. If you sail a Hobie 16 or possibly a Hobie 18 as well, if we can stick with the 16, if you sail a Hobie 16 and you want to get a t-shirt with your boat on it as it looks with those colours, then you can get it. You can get it. Just email me with a picture, say, show us what you got, and I can show you what I've got. Okay, news just in, Thanos from OS3 Sales has got a price list ready, so hopefully I'll be able to put that and the other suppliers on the aftermarket sales results tomorrow. So thanks very much. See you next week for some more. Other than that, skiing time, sweet. Taking care of family. They need taking care of, that's important. Okay, cheerio, see you next week. Thank you.